Good morning and welcome to your cybersecurity channel for another day. In today's video, we are going to talk about anonymity on the internet. So if you want to know if you are 100% anonymous on the internet, this is your video. Unfortunately, you are far from being fully anonymous online. But wait! I'm going to explain to you why you are not anonymous when you are in the online world. Do you also have a device similar to this? If the answer is yes, you can forget about calling it a cell phone and start calling it a pocket computer. And let me ask you just one question. Do you have any applications installed for free? If the answer is yes, let me tell you that this application is not free. You may not be paying for it with money, but believe me when I tell you that you are paying for it with your privacy and your data. And that is why we must be very careful with the permissions that have the applications we have installed on our phone, because without knowing it, we can be giving permission to see our photos, our contacts, and much more information that, of course, we are not going to read. Currently, it is known that there are more than 2 million applications with two very specific permissions. One of them is the Get Account permission, which gets your information from your Google or Apple account. And with this, they can know your name, your ID, your email, where you live, or even if you are subscribed to my channel or not. And the second very important permission that many applications have is the Get Location permission, which will connect to the GPS of your mobile to send information about where you are. And after all this, you may think, well, but this is not that they know who I am, they just have some information about me, and more or less where I am. But if you stop and think about it, what are we? I would say we are a mixture of our personal information, where we are, and what we are doing. I know what you are going to say. Many people will say, but Borja, I don't have the GPS activated all the time. Well, let me tell you that even if you have the GPS activated all the time, if you don't have the GPS activated, you are not going to find where you are on the map of your city, and I am going to show you how. There is a methodology for both Android and iPhone called World Driving, which is simply based on a map of your city, on which all the Wi-Fi networks, both public and private, appear. So, depending on which Wi-Fi network you're connected to, they can tell if you're connected at home, at work, having a coffee, or at the gym. Sound crazy? Well, wait, because there's a lot more to it. Another technique they also use to know where you are is called battery cookies. And to understand this technique, you need to know that your cell phone battery does not always discharge at the same rate. Depending on how close or far you are from an antenna, your phone needs to increase the power to have a good signal. So if you know where the Wi-Fi networks are and look at the pattern of your battery drain, you could draw on a map where you are moving around. In fact, since the year of web browsers can't access the battery status to avoid this kind of thing. But Borja, I don't have internet on my cell phone, how are they going to know where I am? Well, wait, there's more. Keep in mind that your phone is connected to an antenna by GSM technology, which is what allows you to receive and send calls or receive SMS. Since the company knows where their antennas are, because they obviously put them there, they could triangulate your position. In fact, when a person disappears, they usually use this technique to know what was their last location. Okay. They already know where we are, but how can they know what we are doing? Well, you have to know that on the internet there is something called POIDBs, or what is the same database with points of interest, which is simply a huge database where are all the cafes, gyms, or important points of your city with their locations. So if they cross the information of this database with your location information, they can even know where you sleep, where you work, which is your gym, or if you like one type of coffee or another, depending on the coffee shop where you are. But this is crazy. We are being spied on. Why? Well, I will tell you that there are many companies that are dedicated to collect information about us, and once they have all our information, they make a profile, and these profiles are usually sold to marketing companies to have much more accurate advertising campaigns. Imagine the company that wants to make an advertising campaign, and only wants this advertising to be received by women between 20 and 35 years old, who like coffee, who go to the gym 3 times a week, and who live in a mountain village. Well, believe me, they get to that point of concreteness. So yes, you can say that we are not anonymous and that they spy on us in some way. But it's not all bad because there are security systems that rely on your location to secure your credit card. Imagine that your bank knows that you more or less always withdraw money at the same ATMs and that you move more or less in the same area. How can it be that from one moment to the next, you withdraw money in the other part of the world? Chances are that either your credit card has been stolen or that someone is using your credit card fraudulently. So some alarm is going to go off in your bank if this happens. They also use this information to know how people are moving or how people are distributed around the city to develop evacuation plans in case of accidents or pandemics. And there are a lot of people who might say, oh, but Borja, wait a minute, because I always use private browsing and I also use a proxy to hide my IP. So I am completely anonymous, nobody knows where I am. Well, if this is the case, let me tell you two things. The first is that private browsing does not hide your IP. Your company knows your IP, your internet company, I mean, because they are the ones who assign it to you. So if you do something bad on the internet and the police have your IP, they will not hesitate to ask your company who is the owner of that line. And the second thing is that people who use a proxy do not take into account that the proxy server does know your real IP. So if you ever get in trouble, don't worry that if the police ask that server for your IP, I don't think they will go against the police and give them your IP and get back to you. So, now that you know all this, do you still think you are anonymous on the internet? And this is the end of today's video. If you liked it, you can leave me a comment or a like. You can go through my channel to see the rest of the videos I talk about internet security, and if you liked it a lot, you can subscribe. See you in the next video. Ciao.